Alrighty, everybody. We're going to get started in just a second. Alrighty, everybody. We're going to get started in just a second. Alrighty, everybody. We're going to get started in just a second. Oops, we are in Streamception right now. Let's see here. Just want to make sure we're live on all platforms before we get started on talking about this stream again. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. So before we do that, hopefully everyone is having a great day today. I know that there's a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about them really quick. I hope, like I said, I hope everybody's having a good day. And we're going to get started ASAP just because I know that the NBA playoffs are going on. And I don't really want this stream to be too long because I know that, look, NBA playoffs are on. I definitely want to watch, but I had to make this and I couldn't wait till the weekend. So I do apologize to Pete and to Brad to do this video impromptu without their without telling them, but I feel like it needs to be said. We're going to talk a lot about different things here. We're going to obviously talk about the fake NBA fans that seem to be on Twitter. I think that these people are phonies. I think that they're exposing. We're going to expose the phonies. That, to me, this is like the most ridiculous thing. It seems like any time that there's been some sort of injury to anybody, to any person, they want to get rid of a rule. They want a rule change, anything like that. It's absolutely crazy what we're going through right now in these tumultuous times that is NBA Twitter and the hellstorm that is approaching. So, and then we're also going to talk about the Lakers because Rui Hachimura is that guy. And we're going to talk about kind of how he really, I believe, is the key factor to the Lakers and their championship run that they're trying to go on. The Grizzlies, to me, they looked a little young and inexperienced, but we're going to talk about that in just a second. And before we do that, hopefully, like I said, hopefully you guys are enjoying your Monday afternoon. I know for some people they just got back from spring break, or maybe they got back from a vacation, a trip, or maybe you're just grogging back into work. But we're here to give you what you need and talking about the NBA. So let us get right into it because we know that time's a wasting and we know that there is a game going on. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, so let's first off start with this Lakers-Memphis Grizzlies game. This, to me, was an amazing game to watch. Not only from the fact that it seemed that the Lakers, again, as the 7th seed, a lot of the times they're viewed as the underdog. And a lot of times people are going to say that the Lakers, don't have the roster. The players that they have around LeBron James are not as good. But here's the thing that we have to remember about this Lakers team. They are all around, built around the success of not just LeBron James, but Anthony Davis as well. This team goes as Anthony Davis goes, and we know that it was not pretty at the beginning of this game for Anthony Davis due to the scary injury that presumably he had. In terms of, it looked serious when he said that he couldn't move his arms. And so, when that was said, it was kind of worrying for Laker fans, especially because, again, Anthony Davis is the key to the success of this Lakers team. And so a lot of people were worried that if he was hurt, that the Lakers were done. But lo and behold, this team was carried on the back of one player and one player only, and that was Rui Hachimura. This guy, again, for everyone that doesn't know, he's a Japanese player that played at Gonzaga, and a lot of people, when he got signed there, or when they signed him, a lot of people weren't so sure on this guy. And credit to my Gonzaga friends and, watching them and obviously being more closely acquainted with the Gonzaga basketball community. I knew about him really early on, and I was like, you know what? I actually kind of like his game. It's not too flashy. It's not anything exciting, but he gets the job done. And again, a lot of comparisons for him were to Kawhi Leonard, just because of the fact that he was kind of a stoic guy, but was just very efficient in his scoring. And one thing that you noticed throughout the years in his Washington Wizards years, it was that he was a very solid player who had games occasionally like he did last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, but was never given the opportunity to do it. Because for some reason, the Washington Wizards continue to go down this path of rebuild. They're okay with where they're at, and never really fully committed to, I believe, Rui Hachimura. And really, I feel like they haven't committed to any of the guys that they have currently on their roster, which is kind of why I want some of those guys like Corey Kispert to get off the team. I know this is just a Gonzaga love fest here, but even guys like Kuzma and Beal, like, again, I'm no particular fan of those two guys in terms of, oh, I love their game and they're the most amazing players ever. But at the same time, and guys like Danny Avesia too. I mean, those guys deserve to have a team, and really, to me, deserve to be on a team that is willing to give them a chance to build and become the players that I know that they can be. But the problem is that they're not given that opportunity because of the fact that they currently are in this hellhole that is known as Washington, D.C., a.k.a. the Washington Wizards organization. We have no idea what's going on behind back doors. But all I know is that this team didn't even use guys in the right way. And I'm so happy to see that Rui Hachimura showed everybody who he was as a player. Again, he's not the most flashy guy. He's not going to be the guy that does anything particularly amazing in terms of, he's not going to wow you with his dunks. He's not going to wow you with anything. But what Rui Hachimura can do for your team and what he could do for somebody is he could be a guy that shoots 5 for 6 that you see here on the screen here. He's a guy that can get you 6 rebounds. He's a guy that can go 11 for 14 from the field. Like, he's a guy that can get hot. He's, I think, one of the best catch and shoot players in the NBA this season. I believe, shooting above 45%, 40%, I think 42%, somewhere in that range from catch and shoot threes, which is really good. He's basically automatic, and you saw that last night. And again, he played not as much minutes as I would like. When we compare players to like D'Angelo Russell, who I wasn't really too much of a fan of for that trade, just because he can be very on and off in a sense, where like there's some games where it's like, wow, that's an amazing D'Lo. Like, I've never seen D'Lo play this well before. And then there's games where you're like, wow, this guy should not be on the court. And taking away minutes from guys that probably do deserve it. Guys like, for example, guys like Dennis Schroeder, or even guys like Rui Hachimura, taking minutes away from him. And that's something that you don't really want to see out there on the court. But here's the thing that, kind of going back to this whole original video and topic in the first place, this is Rui's team now. I think Rui has to be, and he obviously was last night, in the consideration for a lot of more minutes in the rotation. Like Darvin Ham definitely could have done a little bit better in some sense. I felt like he kept some guys on too long, some guys not enough. And Rui was one of those guys that he probably should have kept a little bit more on the court than, say, a guy like Jared Vanderbilt. Again, nothing wrong with Vanderbilt, but obviously last night he was just not his game. And that's clearly why he only played 23 minutes compared to Rui Hachimura's 30. And so we'll see how the Memphis Grizzlies will adjust. But really this game to me, came down to the rebounding of the Memphis Grizzlies. If we look at the team stats for both of these teams, the big thing to me wasn't the fact that the Lakers got off. Well, actually, no, it is the big fact, because that's kind of one of my things that I preach to my 5th grade team that I coach. And really, in high school team is, and to some of my high schoolers as well, is like, look at the field goal percentage. Let me move my page over here so you guys can see it. 92 shots compared to 89 shots. And to me, that's due to the fact that they rebounded the ball really well. Like, if you look at the stats here for the rebounding, 45 compared to 34. And look, this team obviously is clearly missing Brandon Clark and, of course, Steven Adams in the rebounding department. But the team has got to do a better job of rebounding. The fact that they gave up 10 offensive boards is unacceptable to a Lakers team who, again, isn't the biggest, but at the same time, just have more tenacity. I felt like they wanted the game more. And when you rebound a team over 11 and you get 10 offensive rebounds, that's 10 extra offensive possessions that you get. And that was the difference in the game. Like, clearly at the end of the game, the Lakers just kind of went on a little bit of a tear and just like busted open the game because of the fact that they just got transition points and steals. And, it was the end of the game and the Lakers were just trying to force things. So to me, that was the most exciting thing to see from the Lakers' perspective, is that this team is nothing to sneeze at. They're nothing to mess around with. And of course, people are going to talk about the foul, free throw counts, and all that stuff. the free throws were the same. 16 free throws for both teams. It's playoff basketball. It's time for the refs to put down the whistles, swallow it a little bit more, and let these players play. And they did that last night. And you can clearly see that it was one of the biggest reasons as to why the Lakers won last night, from the rebounding perspective. And of course, just getting a lot more shots off than the other team. Again, 92-89 is not too much, but it also makes the difference in a lot of games, and it clearly made a difference in this game. Fast break points, the Lakers got 26, so that means they were going against non-set defense, compared to 17 points for the Grizzlies, who got 17. Again, almost a 10-point difference there. That's going to be another factor as to why the Memphis Grizzlies lost this game. Now, we're going to get a little bit into the Ja Morant situation in terms of injuries, because boy, did NBA Twitter have a field day with that stuff. But to kind of close out the whole Lakers Memphis Grizzlies thing, this was a fun game to watch. I'm glad that the NBA playoffs have come, because to me, it's a lot more exciting to watch the basketball that we're seeing right now than in the regular season. Because in the regular season, we know those guys, we know their persona, we know their Angrata. It's not playing any defense, but I felt like these last couple of games, there was some defense being played. And, going to that Miami Heat, who stole game one for the Bucks, like, there is defense being played. It just needs to be the right circumstance. And I'm glad that teams in the first round are not cakewalking it, and they're actually giving everybody a game. And that's why I'm excited to continue to watch the Memphis Grizzlies versus the LA Lakers series. I think this is going to be a great one. This will go 6 games. And unfortunately for the Memphis Grizzlies fans, I have the LA Lakers winning this one, just as I did in my prediction with Pete. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. It's definitely a fun watch. And we'll get back and let me know what you guys think about this game. Is it over for the Memphis Grizzlies? Because now we're hearing that Ja Morant is in serious doubt to miss Wednesday's game. So I'm curious to see what you guys think of the whole situation in the comment section down below. And we'll continue to move on to the next part of this this charge series. And again, this is not going to be a long video today, just from the fact, like I said, there's a game going on right now. I believe if we look at the score, it's 40-32. Brooklyn currently. That's actually very interesting. So I'm curious to see how Brooklyn would have responded, especially with Dinwiddie and his comments that he made with Kyle Kuzma and all that stuff going on. This will definitely be a fun watch. And of course, it's a revenge game for James Harden. Just because of the fact that, he was with Brooklyn. They had a good thing going on there, but ultimately it didn't last very long. But let me know in the comment section down below, what does everybody think of the LA Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies? Is this series over? Do you think that the Grizzlies are going to lose? Do you think they're going to win? Or do you think that it's LeBron James's time to shine and Rui Hachimura's team? Is it time for the Lakers to sweep the Memphis Grizzlies? Let me know in the comment section down below. Alrighty. And then let's move on to the next story of the day. And boy, did Twitter have a field day with this one. This, to me, thinking about of all the things that make me shake my head as a coach, that makes me shake my head as a former player, that makes me shake my head as just someone that loves the game of basketball, it is stories and articles like this one. And it's not due to the fact that the YouTube channel is called The Charge, right? That's not the gimmick infringement that we're going for here. But what is frustrating to me is this ridiculous notion that the charge rule in the basketball game needs to be removed from the league. I don't think I've seen anything more asinine, more stupid, anything. I'm going to call it dumb because it's dumb. This is clearly done by players and people who have never played the game of basketball, in my opinion. I think that this was written by people that maybe have never played the game, never was that guy on their team that was taking the charges, was never the role player on the team. This, to me, screams of stupidity. It's time for the NBA to change the charge rule. Not only did I just see it's time to change the charge rule, we're also seeing stuff like this where people are both complaining about the charge rule is a thing. Like, everybody is just making it just the dumbest thing in the world. people saying that the NBA needs to change the rule, people needs to move it, and people just don't understand that this rule is good. The charge rule is fine. There is nothing wrong with the charge rule. Now, what I would like to say about the charge rule at times is I think the NBA refs need to do a better job of realizing when a player is sliding under to take that charge, and really it should be a block and a foul and one for the offensive player, versus when the player is there, set, and ready to take that charge to the chest. Yesterday, we had two situations. We had this one with, I believe, let me see if I can find the one with Giannis here. This is the one with Giannis. Never mind. This is not the one with Giannis. I think this is... We had this one first, which was the Ja Morant injury by...
Please catch with Jackson, 5 on the 24.
By Anthony Davis. I mean, to me, like, let's slow this down just a little bit if I can. There, Anthony Davis is in a legal set position, ready to take the charge, and Ja Morant decided to challenge him at the rim. Now, what Ja Morant could do here, I know he's going full speed, but what he could do here is shoot a pull-up. Because at the end of the day, Anthony Davis, look at where Anthony Davis's hands are at in this moment. And I know that this is the Monday morning quarterback style that we're talking here, but this is something that a player like Ja Morant needs to understand and realize when he does his training and everything like that. I'm sure he does. But to me, this is one of those situations where you see Anthony Davis's hands are down. He's clearly ready to take the charge. And instead of trying to go up and challenge him at the rim, take that pull-up. That pull-up is that his hands are down. You are the most athletic guard, really the most athletic player in the league. And you're telling me that he can't do a little pull-up jumper? Those are the type of jumpers that win you or lose you games. And to me, that is something that I want to see more of from guys is, more 2-foot finishes and more of this, like, taking a pull-up here. Like, I know that the 3-point shot and the analytics will tell you that the 3-point shot is better than the 2-point shot. But to me, this is one of those things where you're looking at the analytics all too long. To me, the safer shot here is the mid-range pull-up. To me, the worst shot in this is to try and go challenge him at the rim and try to dunk on him, when more likely than not, this is going to be called an offensive foul, charge going the other way, and you're not as likely to make it. And to me, you have guys like this guy under here, this tweet right here. I don't even know what he is. I know he's a two-time Laker champion. I get that. To me, this is not one of those things that needs to be out of the game. Again, you can be set. You can take that charge anytime in any place. But I need the NBA and really the people that are asking for this rule to get taken out, they need to rethink what they're saying. Again, the charge rule is there for a reason. Like, look at where the charge circle is at. It is outside the rim. Mark Cuban is talking about extending it out to here. Why? If anything, it's perfect the way to me, it's perfect. Because it's big enough to where players can take a charge, and it's small enough to where players actually have a chance to go and attack the rim. Again, anything inside that half circle is a blocking foul immediately. So it's already a disadvantage for the defense that they always are limited out there and they can't take a charge. And to me, this wasn't an undercut. This wasn't anything else. This is just Ja Morant driving at the rim, and unfortunately he got hurt. Like, I don't know what else to say to the people that are upset and frustrated with this rule, but that's just the way it is. Let's see here if we can look at this. I'm not sure if they'll show it. Let me see if I can find the one with Giannis here really quick. Let me see here. But let me see if it's under videos, maybe. Maybe we can look at see if they have the Giannis one. Maybe they don't have it. Either way, you know, you have teams and places like the Athletic. Let me see if I can just these articles. You know, you have guys like the Athletic Zach Harper saying that the NBA should ban charges. The charge is not really a basketball play. It's really not, especially not anymore. Not with today's athleticism. The charge is a bailout call for the defense. To me, like this person clearly has never played organized basketball in his life. Has never coached a team with basketball in his life. Like these guys have never. To me, like I'm convinced that guys have never played basketball before in their lives. They've never done it before. Really quick, let me just read some of the comments. Sean, you said John needs to learn to control his takeoff. He's the one putting himself at risk, not the charge rule. Dude is going out of control. Exactly. And it's the same thing with Giannis. And I think it's right here. This one right here. It's kind of the same situation here. Oh no, it's this one right here. To me, like, let's look at this. And again, like, it's one of the things where you put your body on the line. To me, like, this is okay. Like, I don't understand the whole situation here that is going on. To me, like, the charge, and again, not because this is the name of the channel. It's because the charge is such a deflating play for the offensive team. Like, think about this in the NCAA tournament. Think about this even when you played high school basketball, even if you played 5th grade through 8th grade rec ball. Those plays of the charges are game-changing and psychologically brutal plays. Because think about this. Now, when John Morant or Giannis Antetokounmpo or when Joel Embiid goes up to attack the rim, they're going to think twice before even going up there and finishing around the rim because of the charge call. Ban charge from the YouTube. Yeah, well, they have to ban us. But think about how deflating of a play that is. That makes the superstar player, that makes the person attacking the rim overthink and say, if I do this again, I'm going to get a charge call here. And again, it's an unfortunate situation that both of these guys got hurt from this play. But at the same time, we cannot say that this is the reason why the charge call should be banned. Again, these are coming from people that have never played the game, in my opinion, have come from people that have never played the game, have never been that guy on their team that's the role player that has taken that charge. Trust me, I am that guy. I'm not gonna sit here saying that I was the superstar on the team. I was the role player taking the charge, okay? Because I know how much of a psychological advantage that can be for a team. How deflating is it? Again, to go back to the whole situation, how deflating is it when you take that charge? The ref calls offensive foul, you're going the other way, it's a 4-point swing, right? You take away 2 points from the other team that potentially scored a bucket on your charge take, and then you guys score 2 points on the other side. That's a 4-point swing going in your favor. And now the guy on offense has to start to think to himself, all right, I'm not going to go attack the rim. I'm not going to get myself another charge call. It makes them think twice, and it's a psychological advantage for the defense. Again, the defense gets already all the stuff taken away. You think about the hand check. You think about no zone defense in the NBA, especially with the way that you have to be in legal position guarding somebody when you're out there on the court. Otherwise, it's a technical foul. To me, that is one of the reasons why I can never really be frustrated with players that take charges or be upset, because it's all part of the game. It's part of life, and people need to understand and get over it. It's frustrating because I know that there's people out there that have never played the game, that are, guys that sat in the stands, never coached, never done any of this stuff. It is a psychological advantage play, and I am so sick and tired of the NBA. Sorry, not the NBA, but I'm so sick and tired of NBA Twitter, that is, complaining about something that doesn't need to be complained about. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and I hope it changes soon because at the same time, NBA Twitter could be a hellhole. And so I hope that it doesn't continue to be that way. But with the way things are looking right now in this world, it's probably going to be that way. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it here for The Charge. Thank you once again for tuning in, giving the latest NBA news and rumors, and also basketball opinions. And again, this is the basketball opinion of mine and mine alone. Pete and Brad might have different opinions on this, but this is my stance on the ridiculousness of what is the NBA Twitter going crazy about the dumbest rule change that they are proposing yet. Again, not everything needs to be changed. There are some things that are good, there are some things that are bad, but what I need the NBA Twitter to stop doing, and the people that try to think that they are the professors of basketball, to stop interjecting in things that they don't know anything about. Anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining me here on The Charge, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode